Alright, good morning, y'all. What's going on? I just wanted to get at y'all, talk a little bit of football with y'all today because some interesting stuff has been going on here. And I wanted to start specifically with this because this is something I honestly forgot about. I remember hearing about it, but wasn't something that was really talked about all that much. And to be perfectly honest, it was almost as if I didn't even realize it had happened. But Cameron Sutton, as you see here, is actually signing a one-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's incredibly interesting to me because he was actually a focal point of the Detroit Lions secondary. In fact, he was their number one corner, and excuse me, it was given the fact that for as good as that Lions defense was, it was a very heavily criticized secondary, which I found kind of wild. I felt like they played well, especially with a Cameron Sutton at the forefront. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who actually went back to his former team as well in the Philadelphia Eagles. Gonna be interesting to see how they're putting things together. They got a good safety in Brian Branch, so I guess whoever they have around him, I'm going to look forward to seeing how they come together on all that. But for me, where this is really interesting is the fact that he was released by the Lions upon being issued a warrant arrest for domestic battery, excuse me. And this was issued back on March 7th in Florida, and police had responded to a call to a house that Sutton was allegedly battering a woman who was fleeing the scene, which is, coming off of having talked about the Brandon McManus situation, obviously this isn't something to take lightly either. And obviously we don't know all the circumstances, especially all I have to go off of is what's in this article on ESPN.com, but all the same, for me, it's just incredibly intriguing that this is the case. And I say that just wondering because now it's not even so much that you got to take things like this seriously, but it's like you got to treat them like a case-by-case scenario. But we're going to leave that aspect of it alone right now. I'm just taking a look right now. Just let's just be real. The Steelers' defense itself is arguably second to none, especially when everybody's healthy, especially the likes of a T.J. Watt, Cameron Hayward, and others. And I just look at this and, okay, wow, I didn't realize they had actually picked up a Dante Jackson. That's interesting. But they also have a Joey Porter Jr., their first-round pick from last year, or their top defensive pick. I guess I better take a look into that one real quick. But the point I'm trying to make here is that with Minkah Fitzpatrick and others, they've got a hell of a group. So yeah, second round, 32nd overall pick. But anyway, for me, he's only going to add to that depth. I'm not seeing Patrick Peterson on the roster here anymore, so I'm going to guess that's probably not going to have anything to do with it. I didn't hear too much of where he went or even that he retired. But even with that being the case, I like what Steelers already have to offer as far as the team aspect of it is concerned. And this is just going to make it interesting if he's able to stay on the field. Hopefully this issue isn't too costly. And yeah, I think Pittsburgh's definitely going to be a team to watch for a variety of reasons. Shout out to my boy D Mamba and all. With that in mind, we're going to go ahead and move right along to another situation where we're actually going opposite the field on this one. CeeDee Lamb, of course, the other day I talked about Justin Jefferson getting a new 4-year, $140 million deal with the Minnesota Vikings, and now CeeDee Lamb is waiting his turn. He's not at OTAs or the off-season, the mini camps or anything like that. He's, of course, holding out for a new deal, much like a number of guys. I believe Brandon Ayuk is another. Cortland Sutton for my Denver Broncos, as I've mentioned. And I feel awkward saying that because I've admitted Cortland Sutton isn't necessarily in this particular category. But just sticking to the category itself, I'm willing to acknowledge that CeeDee Lamb is certainly one of the top 3 receivers in the league, along with a Justin Jefferson. I would say you got to consider a Jamar Chase, who I believe is also looking for a deal as well. I'm trying to think. Deebo Samuel is someone that you got to look at. Like, all these, along with Tyreek Hill, are considered the elite receivers in the league, and they should be paid accordingly. Now, I'm not really sure what the plans are as far as the Cowboys are concerned, where these signings, like these contract deals, are concerned. I would like to think at some point it's going to wind up getting done. If we're being honest, it's no different from any other situation. You got a guy like a Dak Prescott who, I mean, he's been dealing with his fair share of criticism, and rightfully so. I mean, he hasn't really done it in the playoffs, but you can't really blame a guy like CeeDee Lamb for that. I mean, at the end of the day, how can you? Again, top 3 receiver in the league, top 2 probably, and he deserves to be paid accordingly. That's all I can say about that, and that's nothing new, but I'm going to imagine there's probably not much to see here. We'll see that get done sooner than later. But speaking of deals that actually got done pretty soon, or at least, I don't know, I guess now that free agency isn't quite in play right now. I mean, we are in OTAs, mini camps and such, which, by the way, there was an omission I had from that. I want to think from a Broncos Talk video, I was thinking training camp, but it's OTAs, mini camp stuff, so I want to make sure I got that right and corrected there. But, yeah, interestingly enough, we have a newly set running back market yet again, and it's none other than one Christian McCaffrey of the San Francisco 49ers. Now, this is interesting to me. I feel like I've had this conversation countless times. You know, what is the real running back market, if we're being honest here? And it's kind of crazy because we talk about Justin Jefferson getting those numbers. I mean, and he is Justin Jefferson after all. 4 years, 140. That's not overly. I mean, it's insane ass money, but like for a guy like him, that sort of money actually does make sense. But I think where I'm wanting to go here with this is it's just really interesting given the fact that the only way I know to put this is just literally the way I've had it put to me, especially in conversations with whether it been my uncle or whoever it may have been, where I've talked about this countless times. I mean, they're the ones other than the quarterback that touch the ball the most. They absorb insane amounts of contact throughout the course of a game, season, whatever. And it's just funny because something that actually affects the market is the fact that the lifespan of an NFL running back, if I remember correctly, last time I checked was 3.5, 4 years. I mean, Christian McCaffrey is well past that point now, and he's still playing on a level that, you know, is really hard to duplicate, especially after so many years in the NFL, and it's no wonder that only so many names are recognized as all-time greats, the likes of a Marcus Allen, a Walter Payton. You could even consider Adrian Peterson, as these are guys that played in the league for a pretty long time, and I imagine that we're still going to see some good years out of McCaffrey. But how do you really and truly set a market like this? Because it's just really, really crazy, and I wonder if I just can't help but wonder if there aren't some things wrong with how it's constructed now, just with all the things that I just said. It's just really, really tricky to me, and especially when you look at a guy like Saquon Barkley. I mean, with McCarthy McCaffrey's deal, excuse me, we're talking 2 years, $38 million, which averages 19. Saquon got 3 years and I believe $30 million, which is 10 a year. And I mean, for as great as McCaffrey is, especially when healthy, I gotta put Saquon a bit over, you know. And that's just where it's a little bit wild for me, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. I mean, again, think about this carefully. They touch the ball more than anybody else, second only to the quarterback. And that's where I'm going to leave it at that. And y'all know what it is. Like, share, subscribe if you're new, if you enjoyed. And, yeah, let me know what y'all think on this. Am I tripping on this? I mean, it's just crazy how that works out, but I guess it is what it is. Yeah, I guess that, yeah. I'll see y'all, man.